I belong to the band.
Welcome back to Technolotics, year 2. Jesus. Episode
2006 actually, not 2.
Well, it is year 2 for us. No, 2006. That's arbitrary. Okay. Episode 21. You'll notice that someone is missing who would normally be here.
So we're legal in the United
We're
States.
legal in the United States.
Yay!
We can drink! Jason has died over Christmas, so we're going to replace him with the cardboard cutout next week. The moment you're going to just have to imagine that he's here.
Can we do a little hand or something?
No, he wouldn't say anything, it would just be here. Sorry, Jason. Hey, he doesn't watch the show. Okay. He's dead. He can't.
Okay.
On to our first story. Right.
Revolutionary interface. Okay. Well, this week we've been able to see a possible mock-up of Revolution's new interface, which will allow people to download SNES games, and basically all the previous Nintendo consoles you'll be able to download games and play them, either rent or actually buy the games and play them on your Nintendo Revolution. And this week we've been able to see some of the screenshots for the interface which we used for this, which was called Virtual Console. Virtual Console. So this is part of a basically user test. I think screenshots weren't meant to be released into the public. Oops. So the company which was doing this for Nintendo actually said in their press release, or when they were contacted, that no, nobody was meant to see these, so this is not a final version. But it's very cool. You can play like all your old games. Like,
it's absolutely cool. Finally, they're copying off the popularity of emulators and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so like that would be pretty nice, playing a bit of Mario Kart or something old, like, old school.
Yeah, but I keep asking myself, how much is this going to cost? Like, because how much would you really pay to play like Super Mario Brothers 1? How much are you going to pay? I mean,
it's got to be half nothing, and certainly if you're renting Super Mario Brothers 1, it's got to be like pence, because like you're not going to bother otherwise.
And how are they going to handle that? Microtransactions have always been difficult online. I mean, if it would say it's 10p or something, it's going to cost them more to handle the transaction cost.
Yeah, probably. It's just going to be a pain in the ass, possibly.
It could be great.
It could be good.
If it's unfettered, if you can actually just buy and download whatever you want, but if it's like, you can only rent it for this amount of time, and this is kind of a demo, and you can't really...
That's the way they're purporting it's going to be. It's going to be like, you can rent it for so much time, and after like a certain period of time, the game just won't play anymore. So you either have to rent it again, or, buy it.
The other question is, of course, like, where do you store these games? Because there's no hard disk in the machine, so I guess it's got to be a memory card or something like that.
Yeah, exactly, and plus, like, if you don't have an internet connection, certainly if you're in Boggerland here in Ireland, you're going to have... Boggeragula, yeah, my native land. What are you going to have? You're probably, at best, you're going to have a really crappy dial-up. So, I mean, games are going to have to be... Probably SNES games are probably pretty small, but still, trying to download them or rent them all the time, it's just going to be a pain in the ass. Yeah. Or if you have to actually, log on to actually play a SNES game, I mean, for God's sake. Yeah. That's going to be pretty annoying.
Well, the N64 game could be up to like 60 megs. I think they had 60 megs on some of those cartridges. So you're not going to download 60 megs just to play Legend of Zelda or something. I don't know. Maybe
certainly
in the States.
In Boggeragula, it could work. For Dublin, you got your shiny broadband connection.
But you got to fair play to Nintendo, because their one advantage in the console war is the fact that they've got old consoles, and they've had consoles for a long time. And neither Sony nor Microsoft have been in the game for very long, because they don't have all these...
Well, they do have, quite a lot, big back catalogue.
Huge back catalogue.
So, and I'm sure some people would definitely be interested in playing. And because, the evolution, the emulator business is people enjoy... Hell, I've even done Commodore 64 emulator and played it just old school from the time when I was a kid.
Yeah, from when your Wii baird.
Yeah, exactly. Memories. The lost hours.
10 years ago, when Francis was 3.
I'm not old.
Moving on to our next tale from the land of technology. This story concerns free music. We all know you like that. We did a story about a thing called Pandora a little while ago, and this is something similar. It's a place called radioblogclub.com. And when you go to radioblogclub.com, you can essentially search for any kind of music you want, and chances are you'll be able to find it. So it works in pretty much the same way as Pandora. If you went onto that site, you just literally put in a band name or song, and suddenly you can stream it. And you'd be also given kind of playlists and stuff that sound similar you might be interested in listening to. But unlike Pandora, it doesn't have any of the limitations of you can only listen to a song once or twice. It's quite dodgily illegal. But yeah, use it.
Yeah, use it to broaden your tastes.
Broaden your tastes. And if you're interested...
Experiment. You know, I think that's like one of the cool things, because you can actually listen to new music without actually having to go to HMV and give them your money for probably a crappy album which you hate.
Don't pay for music, that just helps support the recording industry. We all know they're like full of tossers.
Ooh. yeah, get off the fence, Gareth.
I know, I'm real middle of the road with my opinions here, but you can also use their software to put music on your site. So if you've got a website and you've got a few MP3s of your friend's band or something, and you want to put a streaming version of those songs, you can download their software and upload it, and it won't really be downloadable. Wouldn't be too hard to crack, but it'll be a streaming version of that music or that sound file that you want to share.
Soundtrack for your website.
So that's nice, soundtrack for your website. I like it. So yeah, surf to that and check it out. It's on our wiki.
It's on our wiki. Okay, next story is Logitech video effects. Logitech have unveiled a new set of web cameras and also supporting software which allows you to have an animated avatar which actually mimics your motion. So when you like lean to the left like this, the avatar will also lean like that, or when you smile, or when you, I don't know, nod your head or something like this, it'll mimic your movements exactly, or pretty closely anyway. So you don't have to splash your own face on the screen. You can have an alien, or I don't know, a Muppet, or I don't know, Jason's head. Jason's head.
Don't
use
Jason's head. You don't want to blind the person who's trying to. We mean, of course, Jason from the Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, of course.
We're acting like he, raped us and then told us he was never going to come on the show because we were his bitches. But he didn't really.
Oh.
He did do the latter, but he didn't rape us.
Damn it.
But this isn't much, it's just a cheesy piece of software, but it says to me,
Yeah.
this is the start of something that could be really incredible.
Well,
a few years down the line, you're communicating in high resolution through your massive 500-mile wide television via the Internet 7, and rather than seeing you, the person at the other end, is seeing whatever avatar you've constructed, who could be a perfectly photorealistic version of you, but maybe slightly better looking, or maybe slightly younger. Lots of potential here for politicians improving their images and so on.
anyone would trust web cameras then if it was like going to
trust any kind of video.
Photorealism. No, that's some complete
There's a
different.
Freudian slip there. Here's another question. If you're using your webcam and you've got a little character and you smile, it smiles, what happens if you start rolling a doobie and you spark up on the webcam? It's going to flake the software. What happens if, as Brenner, faithful camera guy, is suggesting you spunk in front of your camera? Does it replicate the jizz in comic book?
Yeah. Or could you like camera porn and pretend to be someone? Be like Jenna Jameson, pretty handsome old fat munter doing all the actions.
That'd be great, because old fat munters could satisfy each other across the distances of cyberspace through the use of technology.
Yeah, and they can just imagine it's someone hot at the other end.
This is what the internet is
with
for.
the horrible reality
With their mutant heads.
Exactly. Some of them, even the dirty squishy alien like they have at the moment, would be better.
Even a roughly crudely animated alien head would be better than your real head. Please get help or major surgery immediately.
Yeah, well, I think like they're selling with the cameras, which I can't see how the cameras are really all that different from anything that's out there already.
I think you
It's
can
probably
download
the
the
software
software for
probably
free as well.
Yeah, the software probably plays more important part than the
it's
camera.
purely software, I think.
So I think like really it's just an excuse to try and fog people off and get them to buy a new webcam when they could just get the software to do the same thing. Because like some of their other cameras don't do this, and it's like all I could see from the website was like with software.
Although I think it's at the driver level it works, which means that you probably need a specific camera.
Yeah.
But it also means that it can, any kind of software you're using, if you're using IM, you're going to video mode, or whatever, if you're just filming on your PC, you can have your alien head, which is nice.
Nice.
Anyway, moving on.
Just what we want. Anyway, hyperspace physics. Ooh. Okay. This has to do with obscure German physicist Burkhard Heim and his theories, and which are now being explored and actual experiments being carried out on what he proposed was a two-dimensional subspace. And okay, in simple terms, what does this all mean? This means that it could be used for getting to space fast. Mars in 3 hours. The nearest star system in something like 80 days, something like this. So, primarily what they're trying to do at the moment is build a huge electromagnetic ring, and I think, what was it? That if they had enough of a magnetic field, it would actually create some kind of anti-gravity field, and the electromagnetic ring would kind of rise off the ground. And so if they're able to create enough of an electromagnetic force, you can actually just zoom off. It's just a matter of actually doing this.
But it's even more interesting because if you get an even more powerful field, then you burst into high-enclosure space, which is hyperspace. How freaking cool is that?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to go to hyperspace.
Let's go to hyperspace.
Into outer space.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. It's just like another story of a guy who was brilliant and whose work was ignored for years and years.
What a great story, though.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, but like, the guy's dead now, isn't
He is dead, but he is such a great biography. Because did you read of it? He was horribly mutilated in an accident. Sucks for him. But as a result, he was too shy to spread and share his invention with the world.
he? Yeah, he also like never. He wanted to keep it in Germany as well.
Yeah,
Like, he didn't want to
yeah.
share it with anyone outside. It's like, we Germans will go to hyperspace.
They fought back, we'll be on the moon! I'm sure he wasn't a Nazi. He could have been, you know.
Yeah.
He did work for the Nazis, he built explosives on them. And that's where, ironically, he lost his arms, legs and eyes.
Well, that'll teach him.
Yeah. What a legend though, he went to university after losing his eyesight and most of his ability to be a human. Which is cool.
Most of his ability to be.
But he's all burnt and shit, no one's gonna go near him.
Breathe.
So a recent modification of his theory was awarded this prize.
Yes, but one thing that I mentioned at the end of the article was that the paper that was submitted wasn't peer reviewed. So it's kind of, oh yeah, they just gave it an award. It's like, hooray, this is fun, there you go. Not like actually checking out the validity of it or peer reviewing it. So
Sure. But they did have a few quotes from people from the Max Planck Institute and other reputable physicists saying, we don't understand this at all.
Yeah,
it's really
so
cool.
it's like, well, confusing. It's like, I don't get it. I think that was the general consensus. Like, I don't get it.
One of them said,
the works is great.
One of them said, we need a basic introduction to this kind of physics. Like, you're a freaking physicist! Just go ahead and understand it, you clown your job. Or get a puff and gas.
Too hard.
I can only do what I did in physics school. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of mental, but pretty cool if it works. But at the moment, I don't think they can't actually create fields strong enough to test it out. His theories have been used for measuring the mass of fundamental particles, which at the moment I think present techniques use. Oh shit. Can't remember, but anyway, they've always had trouble trying to measure them, and he proposed using a different way of measuring the magnetic or electromagnetic fields around particles, using that to measure the mass, and it's been found to be highly accurate. So it's kind of a boost towards his theory of how things work.
Yeah, I think that's why it's getting kind of treated as with such seriousness.
Yeah.
Is that this graviphoton idea that he had for predicting the mass of particles and energy and so on seems to work.
Yeah, it seems to work.
So hopefully, we'll be able to repopulate planets with their clones and stuff.
Yeah.
I know, I want a world of me.
A world of Gareth. Oh dear God!
All making love in the noonday sun.
Ah! Mental image, mental
Well,
image.
yeah.
It's horrible.
I just kissed myself, you couldn't tell.
It just...
Our next story. Each year, Edge magazine, which is a kind of an intellectual think tank magazine, gathers many of the world's greatest minds together in a giant tank where they think. They are asked a question, and this year's question is, what is your dangerous idea? Last year's question, what do you believe, even though you cannot prove it, was a great success. And they got lots of fantastic ideas as a result. This year's question has provoked some interesting ideas, which include zero parental influence. Judith Rich Harris believes your parents have no influence on you. So it doesn't matter whether you were bummed up the arse as a child or given sweets. Either way, it's your fault. You're a shit. The software internet, great idea. Maybe the internet is software. We can't know, and it makes no difference, but maybe.
Maybe. Maybe.
Evangelical science should take the place of religion. Carolyn Porco, you are a fool. What a stupid idea. It will become a religion.
Oh, scientists.
That's Scientology, you cabbage. Consciousness does not exist. I like that one. I think I like it, ironically. What's your take?
You think you like it, but you're not actually thinking.
No!
My head's going to explode.
And then it did.
It did. Pop! Oh, well, then Evangelicals.
He's not even drinking.
I'm not even drinking. Jesus, what's wrong with me? Maybe that's it. I'm not drinking. No, I've lost my powers.
You need your brain fluid.
I've lost my powers. I'm melting. Anyway, worshipping scientists. That's ridiculous.
It's terrible. They should be beaten in the street with sticks.
Exactly. There's a reason they're all single.
Hey, scientist behind the camera over here.
One day Brad will be a scientist and we'll all be completely screwed. Yeah, so check these out.
You're not getting high, that's for sure.
Is that the goal of your science? Oh, medicinal chemistry, right? Yeah. The science of drug taking. And
yes.
So check these out. There's hundreds of great madnesses from these great brains. They're all dangerous. Check them out. Linked to our work.
Can anybody submit to this, or do you have to be
No.
a famous, world famous scientist?
They ask specific world famous genii. I guess that's the plural.
Ah,
I don't know.
you could just throw in your own dangerous ideas.
Oh, you could. Nobody would read them, okay?
Yeah.
What's your dangerous idea, Francis?
I don't know. Doing this every week is dangerous enough. It's sanity.
And your future career?
My future career. Exactly. Danger here.
Okay.
Hey, beer. Okay. This week's Google Blogger Stories. Google Video Store is launched at CES.
Cough.
Cough. CES.
It's your electronic show.
Yeah. Well, this offers an alternative to Apple's iTunes Video Store, and one difference from Apple's iTunes Video Store is that Google are allowing the content providers to basically dictate whatever price you buy the video for. So if, I don't know, Time Warner want to sell you a video at $1 million, they can. iTunes restricts you to sell it at whatever price Apple wants, which is usually, what, the 99 cents or something like that. So, at the moment it's geographically limited, so that's an FU to all of us who don't live in the United States. Hooray! And some of the shows are pretty old and pretty crappy. I mean, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, that was rubbish. I Love Lucy, come on, if you're into I Love Lucy that much, you probably already have the box set. And it also has Google's own DRM, which I don't think will allow you to play it on portable music players. I think definitely ones that aren't protected by the DRM you probably can, but ones that have the DRM you have to go online to Google's main page.
Well,
or
we
wherever
would
the
tell
player is.
everyone what the formats are, but since we're not in America, we can't frickin' download them. So.
Yeah, we don't know, but I don't know. Don't think it's fantastic or anything really to write home about, because the offering is pretty poor at the moment.
They are extremely poor.
Now, maybe people get on board because like the companies can charge what they want, and it's an alternative to Apple dictating what they can charge. So some people might get on board. I think the NBA are definitely are interested in it. They're going to be showing basketball matches and clips from that, like a day after whatever the game, so you can like watch the highlights.
Sure, but like they're never going to be able to properly support the output, right? Because if they were to use H.264, which is Apple's super compressed format, then they'd have to license it.
Yep.
So another case of DRM screwing your face.
Yeah, and it's just people are complaining that it's just another DRM thing that probably won't work with a lot of players. So, you know, if you have an iPod or something like that, or an iPod video, and you're like, oh, I want to buy my Google Video. Oh, I can't play it on my freaking iPod. It's like, no! What
So
can't they?
complain. Jesus, complain
Just
to Apple. Complain.
Irritating.
It's the only way to get changed. Brennan came to this difficulty today. His friend had a nice, glowing new iPod. Wouldn't play shit. Thrown through loads of videos on it. This cannot play iPad. Why is that? Because of their DRM and the fact that they will only support a limited number of formats because they want you to pay from their store instead of ripping your own DVDs.
Yeah, exactly. They want it all through them. So they
It's
can
not a
charge you
technical
for it.
limitation, guys.
No, definitely not.
Pure
It's
business.
an actual business decision to not support more formats. Or not to release their own format, you know, or any of the technical specifications, so other people could create their own iTunes that will work on iPods. Feckers. Anywho, we also have Google's value pack of software, which isn't all that interesting because frankly it's just a bunch of software you can get for free elsewhere. It's just all bundled together, which you can download from. Can you download it from Google? Or
You can. Google are mirroring it.
yeah, Google are mirroring it, so you just get a whole pile of free software at once, rather than going individually to sites and getting them there. Not exactly life-changing, I'd say, because, I mean, if a lot of these things you're probably going to have or you need anyway. You know, antivirus, Mozilla, Firefox, you really should have that anyway. Oh, I see it has the Google toolbar. Yeah.
I think it's kind of good in a way that this to me it says software for moms, grandmas and cyber cafes. So the fish
Yeah,
of the world can go click on one thing and they get a lot of software.
They get a lot of cool software they might know about already.
Which benefits everybody. I mean, if they one more person running adware and one more person running an antivirus package means one less piece of spyware, one less virus running around there.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, maybe not with these packages. Adware, come on, spybot people. Adware is so last century.
Yeah.
Norton antivirus is 6 months.
Pay me! Yeah, exactly. Give me money, yeah. And paid regularly as well.
You get the idiot tax.
Yeah.
Well, so it's more of a marketing thing, really, in a way.
It's more of a marketing thing. I think it's just like get people to go via Google to get software. I don't know. There's the usual rumours of like the TheGoogleblogger mentioned their Office suite.
Mm.
Now, I hadn't heard anything about this, but
Well, they don't have one yet.
they don't have one yet. And there's also rumours of a Google laptop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say that's a load of crap.
Can't see it happening.
A load of crap.
Google Office Suite maybe, but it'll be online. I reckon if they launch it, it'll be part of a whole suite of applications. They'll all be online and they'll absolutely kick ass, but they won't be downloadables because
Yeah.
that will be just another Office Suite. What's the point?
Yeah, true. So I also noticed this week they started doing Google have also started doing ads in newspapers.
Really?
So you can actually is it the Chicago or the California? Something Sun Times, I can't remember. Is it Chicago sometimes or
Sunny.
Sunny Sun Times?
It's Iraqi. It's
It could be the LA Sun Times or something like that. But you can actually go via Google and buy space on these newspapers.
interesting.
So it's still advertising space. So I think definitely the Google Video is trying to get an extra revenue stream rather than advertising, because people have said like it's Google's Achilles heel.
Although Robert Cringely has a really interesting article this last week where he suggests that what's going to happen with TV in the States is that Google are going to offer IPTV and they're going to offer existing channels the opportunity to stream over the internet. Google will provide the technology with all these boxes that we've talked about at all the kind of root nodes around the internet. And when they do that, they'll be able to tailor each ad to the individual viewer. So if you go onto your net, your Google email, and your friend is emailing about his holiday to Tunisia, or you're searching for holiday tips, the next ad on your TV will be like holiday.
Yeah, for
Or suntan oil
Go for
or
Less
whatever.
or some kind of website, some service that sells holidays.
And because most TV ads are like no relation to the person watching them, people
Exactly.
pay so much more to get these
Of
specific
course,
ads.
be directed.
So Google just want to take over TV. It's his theory, and they'll make so much extra money doing it, and all the companies will benefit because they'll be getting much more specific, creepily invasive ads. Your girlfriend breaks up with you in an email. The next ad is for a dating agency.
Nah. nasty.
Not a world you want to live in, but kill yourself.
So the ad pops up. She dumped you. Get another.
Get revenge
Right here.
with revenge.com.
Revenge.com. Yes.
How much time have we gone by?
10 minutes left.
No clue. 10 minutes. How can we fill that? It'll have to be a shorter show than usual.
It will, I suppose. We do media pimps.
We do
Pimp
media
media.
pimps.
Okay.
And then maybe Bren will sing us a song. Bren has a song, a
Bren has a
Technolotics
song.
theme tune on the guitar. It's amazing, but he's shaking his head. Does that mean yes in India?
Yeah, that does.
That means no.
Well, sometimes yes means no, and sometimes no means yes.
Yes.
And if she's asleep, it doesn't matter. And so on to the media pimp.
Oh my god. Well, I'm going to repeat that.
This week's media
Media
pimp. I got a media pimp Guerilla News Network, which is something I came across
It's
over
not
the
news for
holidays.
gorillas.
It's not news for gorillas. It's not about gorillas, and it's a silly name. But if you notice, it's actually spelled gorilla and not gorilla, and they're two different words. Anyway.
Yeah, I meant the, I don't know, the former of that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it could be gorillas, you know, as in it's not news for those kind of gorillas. Yeah, no, what it is if you're an independent journalist tape, or you went to do independent news,
Independent tape.
you can go out with your camera
Who's got very floppy wrists?
and write about your life and observe. Or you could do a gay thing with your friends, and you can report. So you could go out and see the police kicking the shit out of your friends and write a report about it and take photos. But I think they force you to use proper references, so you can't just assert Bush is a gay, because I heard it. You have to like prove it with photos of him being a gay, and or whatever. So yeah, so it's cool. So it's like reputable, independent online journalism. Check it out. You can get a blog. You can make TV shows, and they'll host them and stuff like that. And they've got a movie coming out, which looks really interesting, which is kind of set in the protests at the RNC.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, like there was a huge protest which pretty much wasn't reported in the US media, where I think it was 2 million Americans went when the Republican National Congress was on just for the last election in New York.
Yeah.
They went and they were like, yeah, die in Bush, etc. And
Just
maybe
ignore
that
it.
wasn't an actual sign. And it was ignored by the media, but they made a movie about it and they shot it guerrilla style. So yeah, so check it out, it's really cool.
Deadly. Anyway, this week I'm pimping. Oh my god. I need to drink. Next
really
week,
need to drink.
I need a beer injection. Anywho, build your own coil gun. I thought it was a bit more like a rail gun.
Well, that's
You ever heard
that's
of
the
it?
headline.
Yeah, it was.
Does it
it's
fire
the headline.
coils?
No, it doesn't. But like, it's like, it's just a electromagnetic thing. So it's like,
Cool.
it doesn't like use, you know, whatever in normal guns you have like gunpowder or whatever that, or in normal air pistols they have like springs. You know, that fires it out. This actually, I don't know,
Uses the power of
it
magnetism.
uses the power of magnetism to actually fire out pellet at high speed.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, and unfortunately I think the guy who made it was like, I was reading through it and it was like, yeah, you have to be careful at doing it because like I was messing with it and it backfired and it went into my chest. So you're like, oops, boing! It'll either go out that end or out this end. So you're like, careful where you point it.
It looks interesting. I didn't read this article because it didn't have any pictures. But,
Yeah,
It
it's,
look- it
it's
look
kind of like a
really
home
cool.
make it yourself project and hopefully not die.
and it's got all the electronic stuff on it. And I was like, but it's good for people who like are good with machines and
Yeah, like messing with electronics and making
maths
their own
and
things.
geeks and stuff. Yeah, so
Like,
check
it
it out.
does include instructions, so I mean, you just gotta
There
follow
wouldn't be
them.
there wouldn't be very good instructions if it didn't include instructions. That's our show.
Yeah,
Nonsense.
I'm also
Talking-
pimping My Name is Earl because it's a great show.
Yeah, which has just started in Europe. If you're in the States, you've probably seen it 1,000 times and it's nothing to you. But over here, it's just started, and
Yeah,
here it's great.
it rocks.
It rocks. It rocks the Casbah. Up the Casbah.
Up the Casbah. What is the Casbah?
I don't know. Isn't it some kind of gay bar?
Is it?
I don't know.
There's tons of people in Turkey going,
Kazakhstan.
yay, you've offended the whole country.
Yeah. So welcome to 2006. Goodbye.